Okay, I think, okay, sorry. We should have to start because we don't have too much time. Walaikum salam. So I think this was the topic on which we stopped previously, Java Copy Constructor. But the first topic, copying values by constructor, we already did it. So now we have to start it from copying values without constructor. Is it correct? Okay. So now this option two. So this topic, Java Copy Constructor, we know that there is no copy constructor in Java like C++, but still we can copy value of one object into another object by different available options. And the first option that we saw was the copying values by constructor, in which we used this constructor here, constructor with one argument, and that this one argument is an object which you are passing into it. And then you are assigning to the fields of the class. So this is one method we studied earlier. And now this is the second option through which you can copy the value of one object into another one. So let's have a look over this example. But this is called copying values without constructor. We will not use any constructor here. And we will copy the values directly from one object to another object. Like as you are seeing here. These are the statements. This is s1.id. This is the ID of some object s1. And that ID is going to be copied here into this s2.id, which is another object. So just have a look. Class student 7 starting, and then it is ending here. And then we have the ID and the name as the fields. And then we have student 7. We know that this is the constructor because the name of the method is the same as the name of the class. So student 7, and then we are passing int I and string n, the two parameters, just very much similar as we saw the different examples previously in previous lecture. And then this I is going to be copied into this ID, which is this one, and this n to this name, which is this field name. Then we have the student 7 empty constructor. We are not passing any argument, and the body of the constructor is also empty, which means that we are not doing anything in this constructor. And then we have the display method, which is just have a system.out.println, which is printing the value of ID, then space, and then the value in this variable name. We have the main method starting from here and then ending here. And then here we are creating two objects. First one is the S1, and then we are saying new student 7, and then we are passing two values, 111 and current. So two values. This is a constructor with two values. So this 111 will be copied into this I, and this current will be copied into this N, which will be further copied here into these fields ID and name. So now these values, ID and names, are stored in this object S1, and you can access this ID and name through this S1. So this is, So now you have this object S1 and the values are stored there. Then we have another object S2 and we are saying new student 7. So empty constructor, which is a default constructor, So this constructor without argument will be called, and here the body of the constructor is empty. So nothing will be happen except the default values. What is the default value? So if you have empty constructor, either you will write it or not. Either you will mention something into it as an assignment of the value to the ID and the name. If that is mentioned in the body of that default constructor, then those values will be assigned. If not, then you know that compiler normally initialize those fields with the default value. So this ID, which is integer, this will be initialized with 0, and this name, which is a string, it will be initialized with null automatically here for S2. And then you are doing what? You are doing S2.id, which is basically null, but you are copying is equal to S1.id. When you have the statement like that, equal to, and you have the left hand side and the right hand side, how this statement execute, the right hand side will be copied, or the value that you have in the right hand side, that will be assigned into the left hand side. So that S1.sid, which has the value what? 111. We know that from here. 111 will be copied into this S2.id. S2.id, previously it was 0, but now it is 111. Similarly, S2.name is equal to S1.name. So S1.name has what value? This current. So that current will be copied here into this S2.name. And now you are displaying the value for the S1. Okay, you are calling this method and it will print ID and name for S1. And what are the ID and the name? That is 111 and current. That will be displayed as you can see in the output. Similarly, S2.display, the values are copied in previous statements. So that's why you again have the same values displayed in the output. Now the third is by clone method. This we will see when we will reach at this topic. So now moving on to the next topic. What is method in Java? Okay, quickly. So I told you that when we will reach at this point, then I will explain what this main method is, and I will explain what these different things are in it. So now that is the point. So here, what is, for example, we are writing main method in our programs, and in the main method, we have this public keyword and then static, which is again a keyword. So this public is access specifier. And what are the different access specifiers? Private, public, protected, default. And then static is a keyword, and then we have the void, which is here just saying that this is the return type of this main method, and this main is the name of the method here. And then method normally takes arguments, and it is written here string, and there is some array declared here, and the name of the array is args, and then square brackets. So this is an array and it has type string. The meaning of this array is that you can pass any number of text. Array of string can take what type of values? Array of string can take strings. You can store one string in array of in index 1. You can store another string in index 2. You can store another string in index 3. And you know that normally the array has the indexes. You have seen this array data structure maybe in programming fundamentals. So you can store arguments, or you can pass arguments into the main method, or you can pass any number of strings as an argument here into this main method. And normally you are using editors like IntelliJ or Eclipse or different things. So that's why you don't know what is the benefit of this. But if you will use the command prompt to execute the program of Java, then at the command prompt, then you can use this option of this main method input. Because normally for compilation, you normally write Java C and then space and the name of the program for compilation on command prompt. And to run it, you just simply write Java space and the name of the program, and your program will run on command prompt. But suppose that if you are writing a program which can copy the text of one file into another file, if this is your program, that your program can copy the text of one file into another file, then how you can, and the name of the program is abc.java, abc.java. Then in the command prompt, if you have to run it, you will write on the command prompt Java C, and then the name of the program is abc.java. When you will enter, it will compile your program, but it will not run until you will run it. And then on the command prompt, if your program is a program to copy the text of one file into another one, and it takes the name of one file and also the name of the other file, and then it will open the first file, take the text, it will copy the text into the second file. So here on the command prompt, when you will run your program using command Java abc.java, which is the extension of that program, now you have to give the name of the text file again. So Java abc.java, which is the name of your program, and then space, you have to give the name of the file, maybe file1.txt, and then you have to give another name, file2.txt, in just one command. So that file1.txt and file2.txt is now going as an argument here into this portion. So, but you are using editor, so that's why you don't know what is the benefit, but the benefit is for the command prompt. And then you have this void, which is saying that this main method is not returning anything. And this void is, what is the meaning of this void? That this method is not returning anything. And here it is static. Methods can be static or non-static. For example, here in this previous method, this display is a non-static normal method. We can write static here before this display method, and then this method will be static. And what is static method? Normally the methods with the keyword static, with them, we can call them static. But their running is different from your normal program. When you, for example, if this is static here, this display method is static here, when you will run this program, this static method, you can call this static method not with the object. Rather, you can call a static method with the name of the class. Here, you are calling it s1.display. You are calling this display method because static is not written here. So you are calling this display method with the object name. But if it is a static, okay, but if it is a static, then you cannot call this with the name of the object. If you will use the name, if you will use the object there to call that static method, then you will get warning in your editors. Basically, it is an error, but editors can handle. They will give you the warning that you are using the object to call that static function. Then how you can call? You can call that static function with the name of the class student7. So then you will have to write student7 parenthesis dot display, and then that warning will be removed from your screen or like that. So anyhow, and then the public. What is public? So public is access specifier. We can use different access specifiers in our Java programs, but here with the main method, you must have to write public. You must have to write public. Only then your JVM normally recognize that this is the starting of the main method. You cannot remove this public. If you will remove, your JVM will not identify where is your main method. If you will write private, protected, or default here, then what? Okay, you will not see any error, but your JVM will again will again not execute your main method. Not execute. It will find, but it will not execute. The reason, because if you will make it private, it means you cannot access that method without an object. What is private? Private is something which you can access only in that class. Only in that class. And you can access those things with object. And here, if it is private, you cannot access. You cannot access outside your program because it is private, and private thing is only accessed in the class. So that's why it is public, so that it is available at all the positions. If you are out of your program, if you are running on command prompt, or if you are running your program from the editors, it is public so that you can access that main controller. Basically, this main method is main controller of your program. It controls your program, how your program will execute. These things are written here. These things are written here. And what is the definition of the method? Method, any method, not only the main method, any method. Display, main, for example, here it is display. This constructor is also a method, but we are saying it is a constructor because it has the same name as the name of the class. So what is method? So definition of the method is that it is a collection of statements. In this method, you know, for example, in this is the main method, and you have, this is one statement, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So 1, 2, 3. So 6 statements are there in this main method. So method is what? Method is a collection of statements. Any method. What is this? You can just, this is definition. And collection of methods are a set of code, are a set of code. So this is the code that you are writing in a method, here or here. So it is a set of code grouped together. So you just, it is a set of code you are placing together in one unit to perform what? We use method to perform task or operation, to perform some task or operation. So a method is a collection of statements to perform some task, to perform some operation. So this is the definition. And why we use methods? To reuse that code. If this display is available, I can use this method here, s1.display. I can use maybe after 20 lines, I can use this display method again by using the object s1.display or s2.display. So this is what you are doing. You are reusing that method again and again at different positions in your program. So methods provides reusability. And if you have the methods, then you don't have to go here and there in your program to search where the error is. You will go into that. If the error is related to some display, then you will go into that display method and find what is wrong there. So if you have divided your programs in methods, then it is easy for you to find the errors. It is easy for you to modify anything. And if you have the methods, then it is more readable. And here readable means easy to understand. Readable, normally if you will see this word in computer science, the meaning of this word is easy to read and understand. Readability means read and understand. So if I say that this method has good readability, it means that you can read it easily, and when you will read, you will understand it. You will understand it easily. Okay, and these are the things I have explained in this discussion, which you are listening now. So what is string? It is explained here. What is method? It is explained here. So method, main method is already defined in JVM. So that's why you are using this main as it is, because it is already defined in Java virtual machine. JVM is Java virtual machine. And when it will execute, when it will start executing, it will execute whatever in it, it will execute those things line by line. First, it will execute first line, then it will execute second line, third, fourth, second. So this is, you know, from your programming fundamental course. And if you have the equal operator between two things, this is the left hand side and this is the right hand side. And then if you have the situation like that, then first right hand side will be evaluated. And whatever the result of the right hand side be, that would be assigned to the left hand side. This is the assignment operator, maybe you know that. Anyhow, moving forward. So here it is written, what happens if the main method is written without string args array? So what will happen if we will not write this portion, which is an argument of this main method? So what will happen? The program will compile. If you will compile program, okay, that will be compiled, but it will not be run. Your program will not be run. It will be compiled, and maybe you will not get any error. Warnings can happen. But you know that if you have the warnings, then you can run your program. But if you have the error, then you cannot run the program. So if this portion, if you are not writing this portion here in your program, then your program will be compiled. But when you will run it, when you will press the running button for the program, then it will not run. Reason? Because the JVM, Java Virtual Machine, will not recognize the main method. Java Virtual Machine will not find where the main method is. Your Java JVM normally see this part as a compulsory portion of your statement. Lazim hissa. So anyhow, here we have this small source code, and here the name of the class is demo. This is the starting, and this is the ending of the class. And then here we have some static block. The word keyword static is written, and there is no any name for this block. This is not a method. This is not a constructor. This is a simply block. And what is block? Normally, block does not have any name in Java. Normally, for example, here, you are giving a name display to this method. But if you will go into the beginning of this lecture, maybe, I don't know, this one or that one, I don't know. Hey, this one. Here I saw that what is the structure of your program. So you can write fields, methods, constructors, and here we are on the blocks. So you can also write blocks in your program. So now that is that example. So here, static is a reserved word, and there is no name for this block. And block starts with the, again, with the curly brackets and ends with the curly bracket. And in this block, we have only one statement. You can write it any number of statements you want. But this is just giving you an idea that how you can introduce a block in your method, in your class. But this block is static block. Why? Because it has the static keywords. If you will remove this static keyword from here, then the block will start from this bracket and it will end on this bracket. And this block will be called a normal Java block if static is not there. But if static keyword is there, then this block is a Java block, but now it is static. And now you will see what is the difference of a static keyword if you have in your program. And then you have the main method. Okay, we already know this thing. This is the starting, this is the ending, and in the main method you are writing system.out.println static method. This is the message you are going to display in this main method. Okay, now when you will run this program, your program will first search the main method in your whole data, in your source code. Okay, your JVM will search for the main method, it will find main method here and it will execute. And in this main method, but sorry. So when you will, if you will write this program in your editor, and maybe you have one button to execute your program. Normally in editors only have one button. Some editors have the separate buttons for compilation and for running. But normally the student only press one button, it will compile and run in one go. So when you will run this, so static blocks, static variables, if you have static variables, static fields here in your class, like ID and name, static integer ID, static string name. If you have fields here in your class or static blocks in your class, those static blocks will always execute first before your main method. Okay. Normally, previously you heard that your main method executes first. No. If you have the static variables, static fields in your class and the static blocks, those static blocks will execute first. So when you will run this program, okay, it will go into this class, it will search the main method, but if it will find the static block first, like here, it will execute that static block first. And okay, this is the printing statement, and then static block will be printed first in your output, because this block is executing first before the main method. And then after that, it will find the main method, and then it will execute the main method line by line. It has only one line, and it is displaying static method, so that will be displayed afterward in your output. So this rule is written here on the right hand side. Static block and static variables are executed. Static blocks and static variables are executed in order. If static variables are written before it, then before this static block, then those variables will be executed first because they are written first in order. And if static block is on the second number, then static block will be executed at second number. If some other variables are written after this static block here, but before the main method at third position, then those variables will be executed at third position. This is called order. This is called order. So static block and static variable, whatever it is, these two things will be executed in order, their physical order in the program. Their physical order in the program. So according to their physical order in the program, they will be executed. Whatever the thing which is earlier, that will be executed earlier, and whatever the thing which is after, that will be executed after. Then what? And after that, the main method will be executed. And after that, instance blocks are executed with the creation of objects. Instance block. If you don't have the static keyword with a block, that is called instance block. Okay, that is called instance block. And those blocks will be executed when you will create an object. When you will create an object. And here in this program, we are not creating an object, but here, these two statements here, these are the creation of object S1 and S2. When so at that time, normal block will be executed. And what is the other rule? If you have the static methods, not blocks, static methods. What is static method? A method with the keyword static with it. You can use static keyword with the display method, which you have in the previous program. I told you. I don't want to go back and again. You have to keep these things in mind. Static methods are called with the name of the class. I told you, if you have this static keyword before this display, then this display method, you cannot call it with the object, with the object name. You can call it with the name of the class. These are the rules actually written here. Okay, moving forward because we don't have the much time. Method declaration. So this was the talkings about main method. Now we are talking about general methods that you can write in your program, like the display that you are using in the previous program. So you can write the name of the method. If you are going to introduce methods in your program, okay, method, and then you can use parentheses, starting parentheses and ending parentheses. And between those parentheses, you can write any number of parameters, any number of arguments. And here, any number of parameters and argument means you can write any number of variables with their data types here at this position. And this is called parameter list or argument list, as you can see here, as it is highlighted here. And this parameter list and the name of the method itself, this is called what? Method signature. This is called what? What is the term for this? Method signature. And this integer here, which you are using before the name of the method, this is method name. And before the name of the method, you can write the data type. If that method is returning something, you can write that data type, integer, string, float, double, whatever. Or if that method is not returning anything, then you can write void here. These are the things that you learn in your previous programming fundamental course. And then here at this position, before the return type, you can write any access specifier. And what are the access specifiers? Private, public, protected, default. You can write it here. And this access specifier basically will fix the scope of your method, that you can access this method on which positions. On which position. If it is private, then this method sum can be accessed only within the class where it is declared, where it is written. If it is public, then it means that some method can be accessed outside that class where it is written. We can access that method here. From this class, we can access that method. We can access from this class, we can access that method. This is written something here. So I am just moving speedily because we have to cover a great distance. So this whole thing is called method header. Sorry. Yeah, so after these parentheses, you have this starting bracket and then you have the ending bracket. And here you can write any number of statements for this method. This starting bracket and ending bracket means now it is the body of the method, and you can write any number of statements. This is called method body. And this is, for example, these dotted, this from this public keyword to this last parenthesis here, this is called method header. In English, just different names. This is called method header. And method header has 6 different components. What is method signature? The name of the method and this one. Starting from here and ending here, this is called method signature. And then, okay, what are the different access specifier you can use here? Public, private, protected, even default. Okay, now I have explained return type ID already, method name, which is this sum already, parameter list name, which is this one already, method body here, this one was left, but I have explained it now. You can see it and read it. What are the methods, types of methods? There are 2 types of methods, predefined and user defined. Predefined means which are already defined and available in Java for your use. This is called predefined. And user defined means you are a programmer. Now you are working or you are trying to write a program in Java, now you can define your own methods. That is called user-defined methods. So predefined methods, the methods which are already defined, already written, and it is available, and those are available in Java, and you can simply call them and you can use them. And they will perform different operations. So this is called predefined method. Methods already defined in Java. Java class libraries, or you can simply call it Java, are known as predefined methods. Or you can call them standard library methods, because those methods are already available as a standard in the library of Java, like you have books available in your library, nothing else. Or you can call them built-in methods, already built and available in Java. So that's why built-in methods, already built in. So you can use them. How? Just call them with their names. Call them with their names. Calling the program at any point in your program, you can use them. For example, length is a program available in Java, which is predefined. If you want to calculate the length of any string, you can, and if the name of the string is, in your previous program, the name, there was a variable name, and it has the data type string. So if you will use name dot length, Java will give you the length of that string. If the variable name for some string, str, if you are giving a variable number for some string, if you will use str dot this length method, Java will calculate the length of your string and it will give you, and then you can display the length using the system.out.println command. Similarly, equals. So if you have two strings, str1 and str2, you want to check that they are equal in number of characters. For example, this is, you have written Kaiser, and here you are again written Kaiser. You want to check they are equal or not. And it is str1, it is str2. So you can just use str1 dot equal, what is that one? Equals, and then into the parentheses, you can pass the other string into it, str2. str1 dot equals, and in this method, you can pass the other string str2 into it, and it will compare the str1 with the str2. So these different methods are available compared to our str, square root, etc. You can use this equals with the strings and also with the numbers. Maybe it will work with the numbers. It will definitely work well with the numbers, that the two numbers are equal or not. So these all are called predefined methods. For example, here in this statement, we are just using some predefined method which is available in the math library of Java. So we are using system.out.println, and then first we are just printing the maximum number is double quotes ended. So this will be printed as it is, and then plus means whatever next, that will be join, that will be, we are going to join the next thing with that previous thing. So then math.max and two numbers 9 and 7. So then your JVM will do what? It will look into these two numbers, and whatever the maximum between these two numbers, it will return that number here at this position. It will return 9 here, and that 9 will be printed. And this max is available in the math folder, math library. You can say math folder. There is a math folder available in Java. In that math folder, you have math related functions available there, which you can use. And one of them is max. User-defined methods. And now this is a program. User-defined methods are what kind of methods? Method written by the user or the programmer. Methods that you will write in your program are called user-defined methods. And here we are creating a method that will check the number is even or odd. So this is a program here on the right hand side, which will take a number and then it will tell you that either that number is even or odd. But this program will take a number from you through the keyboard. So that's why if you want to take something through keyboard, you have to include a library that is called scanner. And here we are just writing import java.util.scanner. So we are, if you want to use some library, not a method, it's the whole library from the Java, then you have to import that library in the beginning of your program. This is the syntax. So that's why here we will use this scanner maybe at any position in the program, but first you are informing the Java that I can use this library. The name of the library is scanner, and it is available in the util folder. And this util folder is available where? In the Java folder. So Java, then you have the util, and then you have the scanner as a folder or as a file, you will find. Anyhow, so here we have the class. This public does not mean you can remove it and you can write it. It is up to you. Then here the name of the class is even odd. This is the starting of the class and it is going on, and it is ending here. The class is ending here. And then we have the main method starting from here and ending here. And then we have another method, which is the name of the method is find even odd, which is a user-defined method, because you are writing this method in this program. And you are writing, this is the name of the method find even odd. This integer num is one argument you are passing into it. And the return type of this method is void, which means that this method will not return anything. And this method is static. So this method is also static. And public, which means it is available outside this class. If you want to access this method, you can access. And this is the starting, and then this is the ending. Yes, this is the ending of this method. And here, okay, let's start here. Okay, moving on. So this method, you can call this method in the main method at any time, at any point. You can call this method. Okay, then I am going up and I am executing this main method first because it is the main controller of your program. So in the main, first you are creating an object for this scanner class. Why you are creating this object? Because you want to take input through the keyboard. When you will run your program, first it will take input through the keyboard. So this is the method. New scanner. So this is basically this scanner is a class which is available in the Java for you, which you can use. And here new and scanner. So here you are writing the name of that class scanner. And then you are passing one argument into it according to the design which is available in that scanner library. In that scanner library, this scanner method, this constructor is available without argument and also with one argument. And what is that argument? System.in. So you don't have to change anything here. You have to write the things like that from the left hand side to the right hand side if you want to take input through the keyboard. So this system.in, this in is basically an object. This in is the name of the object. But leave it. If you want to take the input, just you have to write this line as it is. And now this is the object. Scan is the object which will be created for this scanner class. For this scanner class, this scan object will be created. I can explain this, but this is the topic that of the programming fundamental. So I don't want to waste the time. So moving next, you should be aware of this. I don't have to go into too much detail. So anyhow, this is the object, scan. Scan is the object. Now this object you can use and you can call different methods which are available in this scanner class through this scan object. Object is something which you can use to access different information which is available in some class. And what is the class of this object? This scanner. So now you are ready to access all the information which is available in that scanner class. Okay, so before that, first you are writing a message so that when you will run your program, then you will understand that your program is now asking to take the input. So here system.out.println, enter the number. So this message will be printed on the screen like that, enter the number. Ignore these things. You will only see this enter the number on the screen and the cursor will be blinking. And the cursor will be blinking. And after that, you have this method written here, int num is equal to scan.nextInt. So this scan is the object. And through that object, you can access different methods which are available in this scanner class. And what are different methods? One of them is nextInt. NextInt is a method, predefined method, which is available in this scanner class. And you are calling that predefined method through this scan object. This is an object, scan. So scan.nextInt, that method will be called, which is available already in Java. And what that method perform? That method will take the input from the keyboard. Now on the screen, the cursor will be blinking, and then you have to type some number through the keyboard. Maybe 80, maybe 40. That number, this nextInt will take that number and it will store into this num variable which you have on the left-hand side. That you have in the left-hand side. So now in the num, whatever you typed from the keyboard, that you have in this num variable. And after that, we are calling this find even method and passing this num into it, which has the integer data type. So, okay, then the control will shift onto this find even method. That number, if it is 40, that number will be copied here into this num, because you are calling find even odd and you are passing this number 40 into this variable num. That will be copied here into this num. You can change it integer n. It is not necessary to use the same name again here at this position. Okay, you have 40 here into this num, and now you will go into it, and this is the first statement. Your compiler will, and here it is written if num remainder 2 equal to 0. So what is num? If it is 40. Remainder 2 means you have to divide this 40 with 2, and then you have to check the remainder, not the quotient, not the answer. So 40 divided by 2, so 2 multiplied by 20 is 40. So 20 is the answer. You will write 40, and what is remainder? 40, 0. 0. I'm not writing on a board. I'm just giving you an idea. This is simple division.
If I write the program, when he say enter the number, say 2.5. It will give me
it will store only 2. it can give you an error because you are giving 2.5, but I think it will only store 2, it will remove that 0.5. It is a kind of logical error, okay? But if you have some good editors, some good editors can give you a warning. Okay. So for 2.5, you have to change this int into float, and also next, not next int, next double, next float. These methods are available. These methods are available there. Next string for string. Yes, Zen, what you were asking? Okay. So if num remainder 2, so 40 divided by 2, so you will put 20 over it, and 40 minus 40, you will have 0 as a remainder. So if you have the 0 as a remainder, then 0 equal to 0, now it is condition. 0 equal to 0, yes, the condition is true. When condition is true, this will be this, which is a single statement. We don't have the brackets here. If you will have the brackets here, then you can write more than one statement. If there is no more, if it is only one single statement, then there is no need to write those brackets. Maybe you know that. So, okay, system.out.println, and then num. What is num? Num is 40. And then you can, 40 is even, that will be printed. That will be printed on the screen. And if you will give this num here, enter the number, and if you will give 13, so 2 multiplied by 6, 12, 13 minus 12, you have the 1 as a remainder. And here 1, so 13 remainder 2, you will have 1. 1 equal to 0, no, condition false. So then the control will go into this else, and this will be executed. 13 is a odd, and then you will see that odd here. Okay, moving next. Static method declaration. I already explained. When you have this static keyword before the name of the method, then that method is called static method. This is the definition. Method which has the static keyword known as static method. And if that has a static method, then that method, this is the main method, by the way. For example, here show void static. This is now a normal method, but it is a static. And you cannot call this method with the object. No. How you can call a static method? I said it twice already. Huh?
Remove static.
Again?
You are going to remove static.
You are going to remove static? Why? I am saying this method is, the name of method is show, and it is static due to this static keyword. But if I will run this program, if I want to call this method, how can I call it? Static methods cannot be called with the name with the object. Static method can be called with the name of the class. I don't want to waste my time by saying negative statements to you. So okay, move on. I said it here. Static blocks, static variables, and then so that's why this second line is saying method belongs to the class and not to the objects, rather than instance of a class. What is instance of a class? The object. Methods belongs to the class and not to the instance of the class. which means that you can call a method with the name of a class and not with an object. So this can also be a definition for the static method. A static method, a method that belongs to the class, a method that you can call with the name of the class and not with the object, is called a static method. And if there is some static method like here, then that static method can access static data members. What it means? It means that if in your class you have the fields, the other name for the field is data members. It is not my duty to remember all these terms. It is your duty. And you normally do not perform this duty. I know that. I have 3-4 year experience within this Saudi Arabia. You only see this text when you will have the exam or the homework or the quiz, and you will see like that. Okay, okay. Anyhow, static methods. This is static method. I am going fast. There is a reason behind it. I don't have much time. This is the third week and we are on chapter 2. And this chapter 2 has 50 slides and maybe we are on 35 or like that. I want to finish this chapter in this third week, but now it is going to end. So I am not able to end this in this week, maybe in the next week.
But Doctor, can you summarize the important thing in this chapter? Just circle.
No, look, this is not a good thing. You are a university student, not a school student. Even I heard that in schools, normally the teachers in Saudi Arabia, they are giving these papers, okay, memorize it, it will come into the exam. Is it correct? If it is, this is not a good thing. I don't want to say anything because I don't have the right, but being a Muslim, I am saying this thing, that this is not good for you. They are spoiling you. This is your age for learning. And if you will waste your time now, you will not get anything after 30, 35, you will not get anything. This is your age. In this age, you have the maximum energy in your body to achieve anything. After that, no, it is not possible. When you will be in my age, no, you will only give statement like I am giving here. So this is the age. This is the age. You can do anything if you imagine that thing in your mind, and if you just do effort to achieve that thing, you will achieve it, definitely. You will definitely achieve that. It is not something difficult or impossible. It can access static data members. What is data members? The fields that you have in your class. Like ID and name in previous program, not here. In this program, we don't have any fields. But here, these are the fields, ID and names. What you are asking?
You said you're talking about static. That's when we use static, you cannot call an object.
You cannot call that static method with object.
We are going to call it with classes.
You are going to
call it with class.
College?
Class. We are going to call the
Yeah, you can you can call that static method with the name of the class. And maybe some program will come and then you will see. Where is this one? Where is this one? Here. So if there is a static method Like here, this show is a static method. This method can access static fields if you have, static data members if you have. It can access static fields. You can remove this word and you can write static fields. Then you will understand. And what is static field? The variable which will have the static keyword before it. The same definition for static variable, for static method. A method which have a static keyword before it, that is called static method. A variable that has a static before it is called static variable. So a static variable can access static fields and it can change the values of them. And it can change the value of it, value of that static field, it can change. And static method, we can invoke, we can call using the class name. Using the class name. And these things, static block, static variable, this is we did already. So I'm not, so this thing, static block, static variable are executed in order. This is the same thing I just repeated here because it is relevant with the static. So static blocks are static variable. If these are in your program, whatever the order they have in that program, according to that adder, it will be executed first before the main method. When you will run your program, those static blocks, if you have the static blocks, those will be executed before. But static method, they will not, because static method, you can execute them by using the class name. So for their execution, you don't have to use the object. In place of object, you can use the class name. If the class name is student, you can write student, parenthesis, the like constructor, dot, and then the name of the static method, then it would be called. Okay, read it because it is, I have already explained. So moving next. Okay, what it is saying, have a look over it. What is saying? Here we have the class display. This is the starting. And here it is ending. And here we have the main method starting and ending. And in this main method, we are calling this method show. We are calling this method show, and it is a static, and we are not using the class name here. we are calling it, we are not using any object or class name here before. By the way, this is not a good example for this topic. If we are talking like this, then we have to give example like this, not something different. But it is a valid example. I will give you the reason why there is no object or the name of the class before. Because you are in the same class. Because all the things are in the same class. So in the same class, you can access all the information directly. In the same class. You don't need even any object. Object is only needed if you are outside the class to access the information of that class. But in previous programs, we are writing object again and again. Anyhow, leave it. That is also correct. That is also correct. This is the syntax. You can only learn by practicing. If you have the practice, then you can only learn. Static void show. So now this is a method. It has return type void and it is a static. And this is the starting of this method, ending, and it is printing what? It is an example of static method. When you will run this program, okay, it will find the main method first. Okay, that is. Then after finding it, it will go into it. There is only one statement, show. Okay, where is show? It will search in the same class. If it is available, then it will be executed. If it is not, then nothing will happen because you are calling the show. So it means there is no any object before it. There is no any class name before it. So it will not go outside. It will search this method only in this class. But if this method show is available outside this class here in some other class, and the name of the class is display1, Then you will have to use display one parenthesis dot show here, and then it will become. You will see that example soon, inshallah. Here and there, maybe in the next slide or like that. Instance method declaration. What is an instance method? So you have seen main method, you have seen what are the two types of method, predefined, user defined. Then you have seen static method. Now you are going to see what is instance method. Any method that you will write within the class without the static keyword, okay, normal method. So that would be called instance method. Any method that you will write in your class is called instance method. Your normal method. For example, here, this find even is not an instance because it has the static keyword. And then, for example, here, this is the static block. This display method in this class student 7 is an instance method. It does not have any static before. It is a normal method. Okay. Okay. So any method of a class, not any, is a normal method of a class is known as instance method. A non-static method defined in the class is called instance method. This is better definition. A non-static, you are differentiating. A non-static method defined in the class is known as instance method. And if you want to call an instance method, if you want to call a simple method, it is necessary to create an object of that class. So if you want to call a method in a class, instance method, it is necessary to create an object of that class first on the right hand side. This RHS means right hand side. So, okay, now we are going to see that right hand side. And in this, here we have the class name instance method example. This is the name of the class starting here and ending here. And in this method, we have the main method first, which is what? Here first we are creating new instance method example. So this is what we are creating an object. Okay. Because this instance method name example is same as the name of the class. So I don't have to explain it again and again. So this is what we are creating an object for that class. And after that, we are printing system.out.println. Sum is okay, that will be automatically displayed on the output. Sum is, and then we are calling, this is the object obj, and we are using now this object obj dot add. So this add is an instance method. So for this instance method, you have created an object first, which it was advised here. And then through that object, you are calling this add method, which is available here, public int add. So this is what it is available up to this point. You are calling this method. You are calling, and all these things, which is whatever the thing which is available within these brackets, that will be executed after that call. So you are calling this method add with values 12 and 13. So, okay, then control of your program will be shifted here. It will search for the call method in your class. It will find add here. It will copy this 12 into this A, and it will copy the 13 into B. And after 12 plus 13, 25, that will be stored into this S. And this add has two parameters, and it has the return type integer, which means that this method is returning something. And it is public. Okay. So now this S, which is 12 plus 13, 25. And now you are returning this S variable, which will have the value 25. Return That value will go there, where? That value will go there where you have called it. So that 25 will come here at this point. And the sum is 25, that 25 will be displayed as an output. And there are two types of instance method. Do you have a class next? Hmm? Okay. And this lecture can go up to 11:20, 11:50, 15. Okay. I am stopping here. I will start from here. Okay. Accessor methods. Accessor and getter. Maybe you have heard this name in the lab. In the lab, what lab manual you are following? No.
Not the same with the slides.